As a new realtor, it may be difficult to know how to show a house to a buyer. They are motivated and excited to go house hunting. Before you just pile everyone in a car and hit the ground running, take a moment. You want to do this the right way. What's the biggest secret to success in real estate? Being prepared. So, how do you prepare for buyers to be shown properties? Luckily for you, core member, we have produced a list of essential tips and techniques to help provide buyers the information they are looking for and how to sell these properties to the buyers. One of our mentors, remember, as a brand new agent before, he sold a home to a buyer. He would make a list of all the properties that he showed them, and a lot of his buyers, he was showing literally 15, 20, or 30 properties to a given buyer before they made a decision. So, he kind of wrote down some of the best practices that he uses to avoid having to show a property or show a buyer, 10 or 15 or 20, 30 properties before they end up making a decision. You want to show just a few properties that really meet the client's needs and make sure that you are showing property that are relevant to their client requirements. It's time to start showing properties once you have narrowed down your options. The majority of would-be buyers have a general area in mind. You should be able to narrow down the buyer's preferences as you show them real estate. You can make the most of your time and the time of your buyer by pre-planning some post-showing questions. Body language reading is an important skill to master when showing homes. A buyer's stance and facial expression can sometimes reveal more than they are willing to say. This is especially helpful when dealing with buyers who are unsure about their preferences. We will share with you some of our mentors' tips and techniques to make sure that you can sell more property and not have to waste not only your time but also your buyer's time with properties that don't really fit their needs. So, he wrote a little list. The first thing that we want to remember before we show any property is, before you even get in the house, before you even come into the house, it's super important to plan your route. Now, there's always this debate between real estate agents, like, do we show the best property first and then go back to the worst property? Or direction of the worst property first and build up to the best, or do we follow the most logical route? Now, there's no right or wrong answer to this. We think it probably is circumstantial, but what we would recommend doing is following the most logical route so that you can be most efficient with your client's time and respect their time so that you can get to selling, which is really the goal of showing property. The second thing that we are gonna want to do before we show property is know the area. And when we say know the area, we are not just talking about, knowing maybe where the shopping is, but really know the area, know where the recreation facilities are, know where the parks are, know where the school. Don't know what school districts the property is in? It's important to remember that for us, as real estate agents, this might seem like just another transaction. But to a buyer, this is the biggest decision that they are gonna ever make in their entire life. So, it's important for us to be as educated as possible as we show property. One thing that we always like to do on our listings is that we ask the seller about what is it about this area and property that really made you want to buy here. The owner of that condo said one of the things that they really liked about the area was that it was super close to all these cool little shops and restaurants. There is a hotel in that area called Hotel O, for example. There's a wonderful fire pit at Hotel O that seller likes to hang out on a Friday night with his spouse. And what's really cool about that is when you do an open house there, if he somebody come in that open house, he will tell that potential buyer You know what the current owner really loves about this house is that they love the fact that there's a wonderful little restaurant at Hotel O downstairs. There's a wonderful fire pit down there, and they love as a Friday night tradition to go down there and have a couple of cocktails and wind down their week. And they really like to use that as bonding time for them as a couple. It's just walking distance from here, so those small little things about what drew that particular owner to that house. If you can communicate that to the next buyer, that's really gonna help you sell that property. So, knowing the area and all the little intricacies that come with buying a home in that area are super important, and it's going to get you one step closer to success and ultimately a sale. Now, the third thing, and this might seem obvious, but make sure that your key or your super is updated, either on your phone or if you use an external super device. The last thing you want is to show up to the hot box and not be able to get in. If it's on a combo, which very few properties are, make sure that you have the combo and that you have confirmed access with a listing agent. Also, if the MLS says you know how to call for an appointment, it's important to be respectful of that because it's possible there could be two big Dobermans or a big German Shepherd inside. And you walk up and don't have an appointment if you get involved with a dog. Then what are you gonna do, right? So it's very important to make sure that you have verified access and that your lockbox key and your super hub are charged up and ready to go. The fourth thing that he wrote down is keep there to focus. So, for this particular buyer that one of our mentors was meeting there, their focus really was on wanting a big master bedroom and bathroom. That was one of the key things that this buyer told him that they wanted. So, for example, we have a huge master bathroom with a very large walk-in closet, and those are things that the buyer said that they wanted. Now, of course, for us, as we are showing this property about 10 or make sure that the buyer spends a lot of time in this room, spends a lot of time in the closet, spends a lot of time in the bathroom, and in the master bedroom in general. Because we know that's one thing that they are looking for in a home. So keep your buyers focused on ultimately why you are at that property in particular is gonna get you one step closer to a sale. Keep the buyer focused on why they are at that property. And the last thing that we're gonna want to remember as we show property is ultimately give your clients space, give you big time to explore the property on their own. Nobody likes having someone breathe over their shoulders. So, give your client a space to explore the property and have them discover all the little things that they're gonna want in that home. For example, if your client wants a garden and there's a big backyard where they could plant a garden, let the client kind of explore and find that garden on their own. It's much better to have them see what they want in a home rather than have you constantly pointing it out. So, give your clients some space so they can discover all the things that make that house ultimately a home for that buyer. The fifth thing is area characteristics. Familiarizing yourself with area characteristics can allow you to develop expertise beneficial to your buyer clients. This is especially significant during the show process. Area characteristics of which you should be aware include school district information, proximity to shopping, hospital, stores, etc., traffic considerations, access to main highways, proposed roadway construction, proposed changes to municipal zoning or land usage, planned construction projects, and lastly, proximity to airports. Moving on to the sixth thing is neighborhood features and amenities. In addition to area characteristics, it's helpful to develop a working knowledge of neighborhoods within the area and the amenities they offer. Neighborhood features may include general covenants and restrictions, approximate lot size, approximate age of homes in the neighborhood, availability of neighborhood schools, availability of pools, tennis courts, and recreational facilities, approximate HOA fees for subdivisions, land and terrain characteristics, drainage considerations, availability of emergency services, and lastly, planned expansions. You may find it helpful to create neighborhood cheat sheets with some basic facts and features. For larger subdivisions, you may be able to subscribe to an online newsletter to provide you with monthly updates and neighborhood information. Questioning buyers about their preferences regarding neighborhood features and characteristics is a good way to narrow down potential properties. The seventh thing is property features. Features specific to the property are usually given the most weight by prospective buyers. When showing properties, ask questions and be aware of your buyer's reaction to certain property features. This can help you qualify or disqualify future showings. When showing specific properties, your buyers will expect you to come equipped with detailed information about that property in addition to the neighborhood features. Be prepared with as many of the following items as possible: age of home, roof, electrical wiring, and HVAC, lot size, square footage and number of rooms, asking price, assumability or seller financing options, approximate monthly payments and insurance costs, average monthly utilities, easements and restrictions, existence of lines or assessments and amounts, special features, and seller's reason for selling. During the show process, you can tell a great deal about your buyer's reaction before they ever say a word. By watching their physical reactions, you may be able to infer preferences and objections beyond what they have verbalized. Being able to read body language is a valuable skill, not only for showing properties, but in negotiation as well. First, if the movement is to the throat or neck, it shows irritation. Fingers to the chin shows interest. Chin in palm, it shows boredom. Scratching to the sides of the head, it shows interest or curiosity. Next is scratching the top of the head. It shows concern. Clutching hands together, it shows lack of patience. Touching something, it shows interest. And lastly, tapping hands on table shows they were ready to leave 5 minutes ago. The eighth on the list is buyer's body language. You can tell a lot by watching a buyer's eyes. Be aware of where they are looking. If their eyes don't follow what you're showing them, it can signal disinterest. 90% of body language is expressed through hand movement. The following are general examples of hand movements and what they signal. The ninth on the list is investigate the properties. Do your homework before taking your clients to view homes. The day before you take your clients out, do some research on the properties to make sure you have the most up-to-date listings. These homes may have already been sold if you research them too far in advance, particularly if it's in a high-demand location. You don't want to let your clients down by showing them properties that aren't available. If you are not prepared, your buyer will doubt that you are a competent and professional real estate agent. Understand the routes. Make certain you understand how to get to the properties. What would it be like to get lost on your way there? Perform a trial run. Driving the routes to all of your listings the day before you show the property to your clients is a good idea. You can plan to change your route if there is construction or unexpected road closure. It makes things easier when the time comes and establishes your expertise in the field. Plan the order in which you will see the houses using the navigation on your phone or in your car. It will increase the number of properties you can see in one day and save you time. If you are not transporting your client by car, you can give them directions. Moving on to the 11th is prepare your buyer information packet. When you meet with your client, have your buyer's packet printed and ready. When previewing homes, you and your client will be able to refer to the same information. The buyer packet contains a list of all the homes you will see that day. It will include all relevant information for each property. The price, the number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and the square footage are all factors. Your buyer can make notes on their packet directly. If your buyer is viewing multiple homes on the same day, this will make it easier for them to remember what they liked and disliked about each one. Next is, when entering properties, make yourself known. It's critical to consider your own and your client's safety. When entering a property, make it a habit to make an announcement. Even if you ring the doorbell or knock and no one answers, don't assume no one is home. It's possible that someone will still be on the premises when you arrive. By making your presence known, you will avoid alarming or surprising anyone. This will also assist you in avoiding any awkward situations. While not common, a transient or homeless person may be present on occasion, particularly if the property has been on the market for some time and is known to be vacant. Making a habit of announcing yourself will keep you safe. Moving on to number 13, don't forget your consulting hat. Once you enter the property, you must shift your focus. Once you have moved in, you won't need to be a salesperson. Allow the property to sell itself. Allow your client to form their own initial impressions about whether or not it is a good fit for them. Instead, offer your client advice and your thoughts on the house based on what you know they want. Purchasing a home can be a very emotional process. Many buyers may struggle to determine whether a home will be suitable for their family. Pay attention to what they say and help them make a decision. If you need to do another round of reviewing homes, this can also help you identify other properties. That is, after all, why you were there. Number 14 is maintain movement. While it's important to ensure that your buyer takes their time when viewing the home, they may find themselves lingering in one area. There's no need to rush them. Instead, gently remind them to move from one room to the next. You want to make sure they have enough time to look around the rest of the house. Remember that you are on a schedule, and it's critical that you arrive and stay on time. If you're going to several houses in one day, it's a good idea to estimate how much time you will spend in each one. You can also remind your buyers during each appointment this way. Next is number 15. Leave everything in the same conditions as when you arrive. Make sure the property is left in the same condition as when you arrive. The kitchen, for example, is a popular area for buyers. It is common for buyers to open and close items in order to inspect their condition. Make certain that all of the cabinets and drawers are shut. Make sure the refrigerator door is properly closed if they open it. Make a thorough sweep of the entire house. Make sure that any items that were picked up were returned to their original location. Make sure that any windows, room doors, or fences that were open are now closed and secured. Last but not the least is follow up and review. Take some time with your clients after you have shown them all the properties. This is a chance for them to talk about the properties they have seen. Examine your clients' notes to determine what they liked and didn't like. You might discover that your buyer has found the ideal home and is ready to call it home. If they are interested in making an offer, there is no need to wait. To get the process started, keep a copy of the contract with you at all times. This is especially true if the property is in high demand and there are other potential buyers. Remind your clients that the real estate market is currently experiencing a shortage of inventory. It is in their best interest for them to submit an offer as soon as possible. There's no need to be concerned if they weren't interested in any of the properties that were shown to them that day. Buying a home is a major investment, and you may need to take your clients out to view homes multiple times. Make a new appointment to view more homes and be proactive. Purchasing a home is a significant financial and emotional investment. As a result, it's no surprise that house previewing can be a stressful experience, not only for your buyer but also for yourself. With a little planning, you can avoid this. Not knowing what to expect or not being in control of the situation causes a lot of anxiety and emotion in buyers. Address your buyer's concern by explaining the process and providing them with information. You can become a more efficient and effective real estate agent by following these tips for showing property. Your buyer will have the impression that they are in capable and reassuring hands. As a result, happy buyers will become happy homeowners. That is it for this video, core member. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we have delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you will start to see results. See you soon.